Every day, we see the impact of COVID-19 on our communities.
It can be a real struggle for those families out there, especially if they don't have work right now.
And WCCO wants to help you navigate this uncertain time.
We're all equally affected. We all know somebody that's in need.
Anything helps, because I know I'm not the only mom that is struggling.
So we're dedicating the next hour to you, our community. From food and mental health resources to volunteer opportunities, we're going to connect those in need with those wanting to help.
It just feels really good to be able to help out the community in a time of crisis like this one.
It really warms my heart, to be honest with you, because it's amazing, how people can really come together in a time of need.
Because we are all in this together.
Thanks for joining us for this very special edition of Mid-Morning. I'm Heather Brown.
And I'm Jason DeRusha. Since this pandemic started, we've seen Minnesotans stepping up in their communities to help people all around us.
And the need, we know, is great, with unemployment numbers we've never seen in our lifetimes, and the future of what our lives will look like in the wake of COVID-19 uncertain. So that's why WCCO started our community page. It's to help people with some of the resources that they need and to give those willing to help the opportunity to also do so.
Our page focuses on 5 areas we'll be exploring today. Food shelves, where the demand is high and people are also stepping up to give.
Volunteering and donating. Nonprofits and others are still looking for people willing to give their time and their resources to help others.
Mental health, so important right now in a time filled with anxiety and often isolation.
Curbside pickup. Restaurants are facing new struggles, but they're still working to allow people to social distance while supporting some of their favorite businesses.
And now hiring, connecting people looking for work with employers who are hiring right now. First, we want to take a look at how communities are being challenged by COVID-19.
How we've already seen people giving back and how this will continue to be a need in the future. Here's WCCO's Bill Hudson.
The sigh of the weary.
It's woven into our very fabric.
Hard times.
A nation raised with the resolve
No more, many a days
to overcome hard times. COVID-19 is tapping our collective spirit, as in the sewers who stitch the masks to keep a pandemic at bay.
If making a mask that somebody puts on lessens their fear, I'll sew 1 million.
Others bring donations of respirators by the tens of thousands.
95 masks, this is the good stuff.
Critical ammunition for the medical soldiers braving the front lines.
One N95 mask saves 1 nurse and 5 patients.
With protective face shields in short supply, 3D printers buzzed back to life, transforming idled classrooms into medical factories.
It didn't take very long for us to see that there was a need.
Emergency orders forced families into seclusion, but whether you're turning 3 or 103, birthday wishes still matter.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Dylan!
For aging veterans isolated by social distancing, tributes and reassurance were just a window pane away.
I saw the story of the Memorial Rifle Squad being shut down from doing funerals, and it broke my heart.
For the vulnerable seniors in need of groceries came the heart of a teenager.
It kind of turned into what can I do to help those who don't have relatives who live around here, to do shopping for them.
Crisis has always unleashed ingenuity. We shared stories of distillers shifting alcohol into hand sanitizer.
Honestly, does give us a lot of purpose and a lot of happiness to be helping out.
Gripped by so much uncertainty and fear, it's in our DNA to rise above, to persevere.
Hard times.
Ordinary folks doing extraordinary acts of kindness.
I can't think of a better place to pay it forward.
These words of Stephen Foster's song carried a nation out of depression. Once again, a fitting anthem to overcoming its fear.
Come again no more.
Bill Hudson, WCCO 4 News.
Boy, Heather, Bill puts it so well when we've seen people stepping up. To me, what is really striking is often it's the people who are in maybe the most precarious situation.
Absolutely, and they're the ones whose first thought is, how can I help?
Yeah.
How can I do something when they're struggling too? and putting forth all of these wonderful efforts. That woman who made the face mask just got me and said, you know, if I could just help some people, I would make $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, whoo,
Yeah.
boy.
Right.
Yeah. And she's one of so many people out there across the country and here in Minnesota. You know, we have seen people lining up here for food shelves as they face a money crunch trying to feed those families.
Food shelves are responding, of course, from Easter dinners to everyday staples. They are doing everything they can to provide people with the food they need during this critical time. We've seen businesses, we've seen individuals stepping up to help keep those food shelves stocked. So joining us now to tell us more about the work going on at food shelves, Michelle Ness, who is Executive Director of PRISM. PRISM provides services in the Northwest Twin Cities suburbs. Michelle, thanks so much for being with us on this special mid-morning. Tell us about the impact that you have seen at PRISM.
Absolutely. PRISM is a nonprofit in Golden Valley. We're a relatively small operation, about 1.5 million. But we see 800 to 900 families every single month. And as of right now, we've changed our operations so that people can access the food more safely. And we are expecting a 60% increase in the number of households who are accessing our food shelf on a monthly basis.
60%, Michelle. I mean, that's quite a lot when you talk about what you've been able to do already. Are you able to keep up? How are the donations coming in?
Great questions. Yeah, we're working to keep up. We're a small team, only about 15 of us, but we continue to order food in double and triple amounts from Second Harvest. But donations from the community are absolutely what we need to keep going. We don't have the volunteers on site that we used to for safety reasons, of course. So for us to be able to package all of the food, each household gets about 70 pounds of food. We need to have a lot on hand ready to go. And those are items that we purchase from the food banks as well as community grocery stores.
You know, we often talk about the stigma for people of going into a food shelf, of asking for help. You're seeing a number of people who've never been using your services before. What is that like? How are people doing, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We're thoughtful of that on any day, but especially right now. We're seeing a full 40% of the families coming through right now are first-time food shelf users. Yeah. We are thoughtful that when people drive up that we keep the intake, kind of the questions, really basic. We simply want to know how many people are in their household, where do they live. We bring the food right out to the car. They stay safely in their vehicle, and they're in and out in a really efficient manner. Our intent is to make it low barrier. We want people to feel empowered. There is no shame in asking for help. We are here to provide that hand up whenever it's needed.
And Michelle, you mentioned families. Are you seeing a lot more families come through now?
Yeah, typically about half of the folks that we serve are children and seniors. Individuals with disabilities are also very prevalent. So yeah, we've got a lot of households that had accessed the food shelf in the past. Hunger was a large need before, so it's exacerbated for many households. And then there's a whole new sector of people who have lost their jobs. Now that we're 5 weeks into the stay-at-home quarantine, they're really feeling the need.
Michelle, what can our viewers do to help?
The easiest and probably most helpful thing people can do is to hop online to our website. Right now, we do have $10,000 in matching available for people who sign up to make recurring gifts. This is a long haul project here. This is not going to be short term. Also, we've got an Amazon wish list if people want to go shopping online to support us. And there are DIY at-home volunteer projects that you can do of putting together little kits of laundry detergent, snack bags, feminine hygiene, pet food. If you can't come in to volunteer, there's plenty of projects that you can do at home that are very beneficial for us.
Really good. Good information, Michelle.
Yeah.
We're cheering for you guys. We appreciate what you do year-round, but especially right now as so many people need your services. Michelle Ness, Executive Director of PRISM. We have all the information you need to get to what Michelle was talking about, some of those DIY home volunteer opportunities. WCCO.com/links. You can donate, take advantage of that match as well through that link. Plus, if you need help, we have a map of food shelf locations all throughout Minnesota. Look at all of these places on this map where you can find help. WCCO.com/community.
Thanks for watching this special edition of Mid-Morning. Merriam-Webster defines community as a unified body of individuals.
Not a real fuzzy definition there, right? So
No.
we wanted to reach out to some of our friends of the show and answer this good question. What does community mean to you? Heather, I think, in this line of work, you think about that a lot, right?
I do, and I think about that a lot as a parent, too, and the messages that we want to send to our kids. And one of the things that I love most about living here in Minnesota is that the community we show all year round. I mean, it doesn't take long if your car gets stuck in the ice for someone to bail you out. You can see it in our Minnesota pride, but it feels like it's really being magnified right now in this very tough time. Is we, as a community, are doing this really hard work of social distancing. It's hard work. You have grandkids not seeing their grandparents for months. You have lost jobs, but we're doing it not only to keep our families safe, but really to keep everybody's family safe. And that's, to me, a strong definition of community.
It's a tricky thing for Americans, right? Because we value our individual freedom. We value our individuality. But the idea of community, to me anyway, is something bigger than the one, bigger than the individual. So sometimes I think of community in terms of people. Obviously it's your neighbors, it's the people who live all throughout this state. Community can be a global community as well. But I think community in this context is often about actions. It's what you do collectively for the betterment of everybody.
Right, and we've seen that. We saw that in Bill's story early on. We're seeing it all throughout this show. We wanted to share what some of our folks here that you know very well on this show. I'm going to start with Liz Heineke, our kitchen pantry scientist. She sent this in to us because we asked each of them, tell us what community means to you. And she said, have you ever seen a herd of elephants circled up protecting their young? That's community. A group of individuals who collectively care for each other and who lift each other up, protecting the vulnerable and acting for the greater good. She says, I'm very proud to be a Minnesotan right now.
It's good, right? Well, you had to start with the best one.
Yeah, that was the one that teared me up this morning.
Done. Forget it. It's over.
They're all pretty good, Jason.
They are all pretty good. I like what Chris Schaefer said. He says, I wish the word were care unity, as in care and unity. Because to me, it's a group of folks who unite because they care about good things and being good people. It is good people, not good resources, that make a community great. I think good resources are important, but it is the people that maybe make it next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also like what Dr. Gigi said, and she's been such a valuable resource. You're talking about the people there and giving us this information. And she said, community means to me that we are people woven together like fabric. We lean on one another, we learn from one another, we celebrate together, we grieve together. But like fabric, even when one thread is weakened or broken, the fabric still remains strong.
Yeah.
And what an analogy there. It's so powerful, but it's so true, especially for us here.
Karen Bachman from Bachman said community to us is the shared desire to bring beauty to life. And so they feel grateful to be part of the community's gardens, the landscapes, the holidays, the moments. I think that's important too. Sometimes we get bogged down a little bit in the weight of all that is going on right now. But it's those lighter moments, those lighter parts of our world. Those things have to be valued and honored too.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, we reached out to people that were here in our building, not physically here in our building right now. Our general manager here, I don't think we've seen her here over the past couple weeks, but she makes a point. She's been working really hard in making sure that all of us are trying to stay safe. She says, as our world has gotten so small, quarantined at home, the word community means many things. On one spectrum, I miss my family, close friends, fellow employees. But I also feel a sense of community with people everywhere who are trying to get through this. This is bigger than geography. It's bigger than family. It's also about a shared experience.
Yeah.
And there's a good point to that, is that we all are going through something. It's affecting every single person out there. And it's rare for us to have something like that.
One more from Dr. Shonda Kraft, our mid-morning relationship guru. She said community is not only the people, places, and experiences we have in common, but it's also the gaps between and within those commonalities. She says it's important to see those who are the same as her and those who are different, all as part of her community. I thought that was really powerful too.
I did too. Yeah, thank you everybody for sharing that with us. And we love to hear what you say. Let us know on your social media.
A volunteer group made hundreds of masks and recently delivered them to healthcare workers at Allina Hospital. Families from the Muslim Foundation say they're answering a call for help from the community. They made these colorful masks to lift everyone's spirits during these tough times. When people volunteer, they often go to the place they are volunteering to help.
And unfortunately, right now, that's not possible during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I talked with Samantha Sleeman, she's head of volunteer services for the Presbyterian Homes and Services, about their ongoing need for volunteers and how you can still help. Hey, Samantha, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
So Presbyterian Homes and Services, you have community cares all over the area. Tell us a little bit about how you've been impacted by COVID-19.
Sure. There's no doubt that this disease has affected how we operate. Public health guidelines have significantly impacted the way that we are able to serve our residents and our families and support our staff. What's remarkable in the midst of all of this is watching how staff, volunteers, and their families have really come together in finding creative ways to stay connected and to continue to enrich the lives of the older adults that we serve.
So you can't come to the communities right now for obvious reasons, but there still are ways to volunteer either at your own home or outside of your home. Why don't you share a little bit of those for us?
Sure. So we have a Stay Connected initiative where individuals can write generic letters, cards, and notes to a community, and then they're shared with residents who may be feeling especially lonely that day or need a pick-me-up. We also have words of thanks piece where volunteers can send thank you notes and thank you cards to our communities, and those cards are given to staff to show that we appreciate what they're doing and how they continue to show their dedication to our residents in this challenging time. We're also one of the organizations that are accepting homemade masks and gowns right now.
Any specific specifications on that?
There are a few patterns that we're accepting. We'll accept a number of different patterns, but the double layered cotton pattern that everyone's been using is fine. Our staff have said that they do like the tie masks rather than elastic because it takes the load off their ears.
Absolutely. So those are all things. Yeah. So those are all things that people can do at home. I know there's other opportunities that if you want to deliver or help with deliveries, can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Our senior meal service continues to deliver meals to seniors and other individuals that are homebound. So they are always looking for drivers, specifically in the East and South Metro. And that's through Optage Senior Dining, which is a division of Presbyterian Homes.
And so tell us a little bit about what this means for the people that you're serving.
Connection's always been important to the residents that we serve. So when the visiting guidelines came up, we just knew that we had to find special ways to keep that going. So seeing faces and pictures, artwork, hearing words of hope, and then responding to those really brings a sense of peace to our residents during this challenging time, as well as a sense of purpose to make something happen themselves.
Right. Well, I know a lot of people out there really want to help, and so you've given us all kinds of opportunities to work with, and hopefully we can make a difference for a lot of people out there. Samantha, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Along with volunteer opportunities at places like Presbyterian Homes and Services, WCCO.com/community also lists a number of other organizations who can use help. You see Secondhand Hounds on there, Underdog Rescue. A lot of galas and fundraisers had to be canceled because of the outbreak. So if you are able, check out our list of opportunities to volunteer or to donate.
But first, 3-year-old Dylan from Andover had a much happier birthday thanks to emergency responders from the Andover Fire Department and the Anoka County Sheriff's Office. They drove past his home, and Dylan's mom, Sarah, says he loves big trucks. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Welcome back to our hour-long special, In This Together.
We've been seeing so many people reaching out to help others and bring them a little cheer during this stay at home. And that includes our very own Minnesota Wild. Wild employees are writing hundreds of notes to the residents at the Ling-Bloomston Senior Housing Center in St. Paul. And it sure does mean a lot to these residents.
It was cool today to get this card. That really helps. That helped make my day, you know. So it's little things like this you might not think are such a big deal, but really are a big deal for me, and I know for a lot of the other residents.
The Wild employees wrote out enough cards for each resident to get one. So dealing with a worldwide pandemic is something that we usually only think about in the movies.
But the reality of COVID-19 is causing fear, anxiety, also isolation as we socially distance from others. So we wanted to talk about the importance of mental health with marriage and family therapist and educator, Dr. Kirsten Lynn Seal.
Kirsten, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, this is such a time of uncertainty, of fear out there, and it really, you can feel the anxiety in a lot of people's emotions.
Yeah. Yep, this is a really tough time. You know, we're indoors because of, a physical public health threat, and yet there's a lot of mental health consequences that can come from this, most especially some really strong emotions, fear, anxiety. There's a lot of grief. And one of the most important things that we can do may almost seem counterintuitive, which is that in order to really make sure that we are managing our emotions well, we need to acknowledge them, and then we need to feel them, even though sometimes it can feel really painful. And that is the way in which we can move through them. Or another way of thinking about it is thinking that our emotions can move through us. But when we push them, sometimes we have to push them over to the side to get something done, but they can't stay there because otherwise they sort of gnaw at us and then they come squiggling out in other ways.
So, Kirsten, I feel like oftentimes when we're talking about mental health challenges, it's people who have experience maybe with having struggles before. I wonder if this situation has expanded some of those anxieties to everyone.
Oh, absolutely. This is a situation in which everybody, even if they haven't experienced any mental health issues before at all, are struggling with this. So I don't know if there's anybody who is experiencing this reality that we're in right now who is not struggling with fear, anxiety, maybe feelings of depression, certainly a lot of grief, like anticipatory grief, worrying about what happens if someone we love falls ill or dies, and then grief about what's happening around the world and in our own microcosm as well. So this may be new for people who haven't really had to struggle with it before, which is why I think understanding what emotions are and how we can move through them can be a really helpful thing.
And then on top of all those emotions, you have this entire change in our daily lives, in our routines. Yes. And I think one of the best pieces of advice I had heard is you're together with your people there, but also make sure you take some time for yourself. Make sure you're able to also do things for yourself while you're trying to take care of everybody else.
Yes. So there's sort of a litany of things that I'll go through with my clients, for example, and with myself about how best to care for ourselves. One is if you don't have a routine that has followed you, like if you're not able to work from home or if things have really shifted, create a new routine for yourself. Another one is get out. I recommend people try to get out twice a day into the outside, whether you can take a long walk or not, certainly with a mask on if that's necessary, which I think for most of us it is. And then also exercise. I've heard some great stories about people having dance parties in their living room. You know, put some music on that you love and just dance around for even 20 minutes will make such a difference to your mood and well-being. Continue to eat well. Do your best to stick to a sleep schedule so that you're getting enough sleep. Those are all things that go into supporting our well-being as best as we can during this really difficult time. Oh, make a happy music playlist. That's one of my favorites. And so when things seem really down, it's almost like you're doing music therapy for yourself.
I like that. I read a whole book by a musician, actually, that was about the power of listening to happy music.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You know, we know from research that, you know, even people at the very end of their lives who are struggling with dementia, who can't speak, they will sing like hymns they knew if the music is played from when they were a child. So music is very, very deeply embedded in us and really connects to the deepest part of us, I think, spiritually and emotionally.
Quickly, Kirsten, can you give us a couple tips on how to avoid emotionally isolating ourselves?
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate. This phrase social distancing, not my favorite. What I like to think of it as physical distancing. But we really, really must try to stay connected as much as possible. I think this is a great time. We've heard all sorts of research on, you know, lately about how many phone calls are being made now compared to this time a year ago. So call your people, call your friends. You know, video conferencing is great. I find that seeing people's faces, doing FaceTime or Skype, seeing someone's face can be really, really helpful. We did a FaceTime call for our Easter dinner, and I saw my dad and my son, who are both on the East Coast, and it was so lovely to see them.
Yeah, just seeing that face and seeing their expressions, and you can't give them a hug, but
seeing the background.
It's close. Yeah. Right. All right. Kirsten, thank you so much. Really great tips. We appreciate it.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks.
Jason, I was just telling Aaron there, we should have Mark Mallman back on the show. He's the one who did that happiness playlist, and just talk a little bit about, you know, what music means to us.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I just tweeted out Mark's happiness playlist that you can get to on Spotify if you want to check that out. Right. But yeah, I think it makes a difference, doesn't it, for you when you play a song that just gets you going?
Yeah, and the dance party idea, top notch. I love it. You know, if you need some help with mental health, we have the numbers to call. We have information about virtual support groups and a resource guide for parents and caregivers. You can find that all on WCCO.com/community. It says put up this heart in honor of healthcare workers that are on the front lines for us right now. So if you're in that area, you can see it from Steamboat Bay out there on Gull Lake. Restaurants were hit hard when they were ordered to shut down to stop the spread of COVID-19.
But takeout and curbside pickup is still allowed, so many restaurants changed the way of business to keep their workers employed and to provide meals to both loyal and new customers. We talked with one restaurant owner and chef, Tammy Wong of Rainbow Chinese Restaurant in Minneapolis, about the changes. Tammy, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate us. Talk us through how hard was it to shut down the dining portion of your restaurant?
I think it was really scary at first. I just didn't know what to expect, and it was a lot to think about for my business and my employee. And it's just a lot of worrying. That's all I can say.
You mentioned the impact on your employees there. Tell us a little bit about that, what you've had to do there, the changes that you've had to make, and the impact it's having on your business and the people that work for you.
Well, it's really sad, like many other restaurants, that there's so many employees wanted to work, and then we couldn't. We are a small business that we had to let go over half of our employees at the moment, and have no idea when they're going to be able to come back. And currently we have a fewer staff that were working, a couple of my family members are helping. And so we had to be really focused and efficient so that we could get through this and help other people that really need food.
You've been doing some delivery and curbside pickup. We picked up this weekend. It was fantastic. Everybody should come and order food from you. But tell me, that brings its own challenges too. How's that been going?
Well, we like I said, right? Sometimes people say, "Well, Tammy, do you sleep?" I don't know. It's a lot of thinking for myself, my family, my elderly parents, and my customer, my employee. And I thought, you know, how can I make this so simple for people to come and pick up food that they feel safe? And it's also the same way of taking precaution for my employees. So there's a lot. I can more than talking more and more about it, but
we can feel it. We can feel the stress and the pressure.
Right. There's a lot. You're saying a lot in just saying that there. Tammy, we've also heard reports of discrimination against Chinese Americans. I mean, really terrible stuff. Have you seen any of that?
Well, that is really, really, really sad. And I don't know what to say other than I live in South Minneapolis. I work and live here most of my life. Yes, I'm Chinese, and I would consider myself more Minnesotan than Chinese. I live in this community. And in South Minneapolis, I don't see anything. I personally don't experience anything like that. But at work, in a restaurant, we receive many prank calls. And some of my employees, a few weeks ago, they experiencing some unnecessary things that people say. But it's just so sad. Many in America, in the different city like New York, and people experiencing very violence crime, and it's unnecessary.
Tammy, thank you.
There's really no time for people to hate Asian American.
It's 100% true. Tammy, we think of you as a Minnesotan too, and we're so grateful for all you do for your employees and for the community. Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you. So if you want to support restaurants like Tammy's, you can head on over to WCCO.com/community. We do have a map showing all of those restaurants that are offering curbside pickup. How employers are connecting with potential workers in our Now Hiring section.
First, here's another act of kindness as the Society of St. Vincent de Paul reaches out to the community. They recently handed out free food that went to about 250 families in need.
We recently did a special hour on the unemployment crisis that's been caused by the COVID-19 outbreak.
And we have a whole section of our community page dedicated to hiring. We keep getting new listings too. The Now Hiring section of our website gets new job postings like this. Care a parent looking for nursing assistants, registered nurses, caregivers. They have flexible schedules too.
We also have the Advent here. Who is also volunteer opportunities you can find at WCCO.com/communities. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
It's a humanizing moment of my entire life. I mean, what's going on now is pretty much put us all, on an even playing field.
People are looking for something to feel good. Give them a little bit of hope.
Just so many families reaching out, and we've been able to fulfill everybody's needs. So it's been a huge community rally that's rallied behind us.
Everybody in this community, everybody around here, they're family.
We may not have it all, but we can give what we do have.
It is letting them know through our actions, because love is an action word, that we really do love them.
To think, okay, maybe we're gonna make it through this and we'll come out okay.
This means the world to me. This could make the difference between, me staying healthy or not.
Thank you so much for thinking of us and trying to help in such scary times. It means an awful lot.